Welcome to San Francisco 49ers News Today fans. If you love the 49ers, make sure to subscribe to our channel for all the latest updates on your favorite team. Today, we're breaking down the latest injury report and what it means for the 49ers as they prepare for Week 2. Let's get started. 49ers exit Week 1 with no major injuries. The San Francisco 49ers came out of their Week 1 victory over the New York Jets without any significant injuries, a huge relief for fans and the team alike. Head coach Kyle Shanahan spoke to reporters in a conference call on Tuesday morning and confirmed that there were no new major injuries aside from what was already mentioned in his post-game press conference. Wide receiver Jawan Jennings is listed as day-to-day with an ankle injury, while guard Aaron Banks is also day-to-day after suffering a calf contusion. Both players will be monitored closely throughout the week to determine their availability for the next game. Christian McCaffrey's status. Christian McCaffrey was held out of Monday night's game due to calf and Achilles issues, raising concerns among fans. However, Shanahan clarified that McCaffrey would have played if it had been a playoff game. The coach explained that McCaffrey's Achilles issue is tendinitis, and the running back is considered day-to-day. "I believe that if it was a playoff game, he would have played," Shanahan said, "but it's not just the calf, it's the Achilles, and the Achilles is tendinitis. These things come and go, and when it's acting up, you have to be very careful. Christian is very diligent about these things, and he made it clear to me that he believed he could go if needed." Shanahan emphasized that since it was only Week 1, there was no need to take unnecessary risks. When you hear that kind of thing and it's not a playoff game, it's Week 1, especially when dealing with lower extremities like that, it was a tough decision, but in the long term, it made everything easier. Looking ahead to Week 2 against the Vikings, the 49ers are now shifting their focus to Week 2 as they prepare to face the Minnesota Vikings. Shanahan also updated the status of several other players, including safety Talanoa Hufanga, who is still working his way back from an ACL injury last season. Shanahan noted that Hufanga will continue ramping up his training and has a chance to play against the Vikings. The team is also hopeful that defensive end Yetur Gross-Matos and linebacker D. Winters will return to practice this week, adding depth and options to the defense as they gear up for another challenging matchup. Kyle Shanahan addressed the decision to hold certain players back during Week 1, explaining that it was a cautious approach to prevent long-term injuries. Given that it was early in the season, he emphasized the importance of not taking unnecessary risks, especially when dealing with injuries related to the lower body. Shanahan acknowledged the difficulty of the decision but highlighted how it ultimately helped manage the situation better in the long term. As the 49ers turned their attention to Week 2 against the Minnesota Vikings, Shanahan provided updates on several key players. Safety Talanoa Hufanga, who is recovering from an ACL injury sustained last season, is expected to continue ramping up his training. Shanahan expressed optimism that Hufanga has a chance to play in the upcoming game. Additionally, defensive end Yetur Gross-Matos and linebacker D. Winters are expected to return to practice, potentially boosting the team's depth and giving them more defensive options heading into another challenging matchup. The team remains hopeful that these reinforcements will strengthen the defense as they prepare for a tough contest against the Vikings. As the 49ers continue preparations for Week 2 against the Vikings, head coach Kyle Shanahan remains cautious in managing player injuries and potential returns. The team is focused on making sure key players are fully recovered before stepping back onto the field. Safety Talanoa Hufanga, recovering from an ACL injury, is showing progress in his training, with Shanahan hopeful that he could be ready to play soon. The coaching staff is closely monitoring his workload to ensure he is in the best shape for a safe return. On the defensive front, the 49ers are optimistic about the return of defensive end Yetur Gross-Matos and linebacker D. Winters to practice this week. Both players, once fully integrated back into training, would provide crucial depth for a defense preparing to face a tough Vikings offense. Shanahan emphasized the importance of having a fully healthy squad as the season progresses, especially when facing opponents like Minnesota, who present their own set of challenges. The coaching staff is balancing short-term performance with long-term health, aiming to avoid setbacks that could affect the season's trajectory. These careful preparations highlight the team's commitment to both player welfare and remaining competitive, ensuring that the roster is as strong as possible for the demanding matchups ahead. What do you think, 49ers fans? How do you feel about the 49ers injury updates? Are you concerned about McCaffrey's tendinitis, or do you think the team is making the right call to manage it carefully? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe to San Francisco 49ers News Today fans for all the latest updates and exclusive insights on your favorite team.